Hi and welcome to Scott's Inverts. I'm Scott. These are the inverts. Today we are rehousing our boehemi and our s.sabah species s.sabah. So let's get straight into today's video. So up on screen, first off is our female boehemi, recently molted and definitely in need of an upgrade. And this is what we're going to be upgrading her to, twice the size, more room for her to walk about, because this spider, her character, she doesn't half like to wander around her enclosure all day and all night, so give her some more room. So this is Levington's potting compost, straight in there. Look at that substrate, absolutely beautiful. We will let this dry out a little bit more for her boehemi, but this is kind of how damp it comes, so we can't really do much about it at the moment. But I'm going to go about between quarter and a half way up the sides of that enclosure with this substrate. So if she wants to make a little shallow burrow, she can, or she can just relax terrestrially on the top. It's completely up to her, but giving her the options, the best bet. A bit of moss. Now this moss is actually on a piece of bark and it's stretched across side to side, so it's actually really stuck in there and won't move. That moss is going to die off in this enclosure, but I wanted to put it in there because it's just something different for our spider to walk across if she wishes to, and just something nice for us to look at when we take the top off, as well as that beautiful spider. And if you've got some moss, there's nothing pops spiders' colours like a backdrop of moss. Look, this piece of moss here is nice and dry, so that's going in that corner. Again, just to give her something different to be walking around and attaching a bit of webbing to and making it aesthetically pleasing. What we also did was, this piece of moss is from her old enclosure, which is covered in her webbing. Now in my mind, I'm kind of thinking if it's covered in her webbing, maybe it carries some of her pheromones or hormones across with her, so hopefully she'll feel a bit more at home in this enclosure with maybe that familiar feel to it. That water dish gone straight in there, but here's where she gives me an absolute run around. So this spider I know ever so well, and I know she's completely fine to pick up and do this with, but just look how beautiful she is. She is an absolute gem in my collection. But does she sit still? Not a chance. Absolutely beautiful spider, man. But anyway, we're going to get the other enclosure, which we've got now, and we're going to try and get her in. But this is where she just gives me the run around, and this footage is condensed. It was about 15 minutes of her walking up and down my arm. I think she almost got to my shoulder at one point, but she just does not want to go in there. I think she wants the heat off my body, maybe, or just to stretch her legs. I don't know. Maybe you can let me know down in the comments. But one thing for sure, she didn't want to leave my hand. It's almost like they get attached to you instead of you being attached to them when they do something like that. I just couldn't get her to turn around, so she was facing the actual enclosure itself to walk straight in, and instead she kept just trying to walk up my arm. And even then, I aimed her towards the enclosure and she just turned around, come straight back up. I think she just must literally just like walking around, because she does not want to go in that enclosure. And like I said, this is about 15 minutes of footage. I have cut a little bit of it out, otherwise we would have had 15 minutes of our spider literally just running up and down my arm. But I kind of manipulate her in, and then she goes underneath that hide there. So that's the finished enclosure with our spider in there as well. Just about to see her bum. Absolutely brilliant. That will do her for a good while yet. And this is our s.sabah species s.sabah, an Asian fossorial spider. So she needs a definite rehouse ASAP. So that's what we're going to be doing in just 1 second. Now these guys can be very defensive. They do stridulate, so they do make that whistling noise in defense as well. This girl is very, very relaxed for her species. So please, if you do get one of these, remember to be on your defensive. Remember to have several catch cups around you as well, because they can be very, very fast. I'm just exceptionally lucky that this girl is very, very calm in my care. But we've catch cupped her. I go in with the paintbrush to try and get her to go up into the catch cup a little bit, so she's inside that catch cup when I put the lid on. But typical spider, doesn't want to go where you want it to. She wants to go where she wants to. You know the story, we've all been there. Fingers crossed. Literally, what I'm doing now is she's got a couple of paws, so I'm just tickling her paws where they're on the edge of that catch cup to try and get them to go inside the catch cup instead of just being on the edge. So anyway, more tickling, and I think she's about in. Yeah, she's in there now. I'm just making sure she's going to stay there, because after the last spider, I don't want this one running up and down my arm, that's for sure. But you could just see her little legs coming over, look. She's like, I don't want to go. But look how stunning this spider is. See those fangs? Oh yeah, don't want them anywhere near us, do we? But absolutely stunning spider. Get that lid on, click it down, nice and secure. Put her in a position where we're not going to knock it over when we're filling up this next one. This is a 15 litre rub. There's already the holes up and down the sides, if I can get around my camera stand. And there's also a little bit of water down in the bottom. Asian fossorial, like the high humidity, so there's just a touch of water down the bottom, just so that I know that that base down there is nice and damp. I'm not going to actually add any more moisture to the soil that we put in all the way through, but what I do is after every inch of soil we just tamper it down ever so gently, just to firm it up, so when she burrows, that burrow doesn't collapse. But that compost again is Levington's potting compost, absolutely awesome. And if by magic, boom, just over 3/4 of the way up we've filled that. Now I've got 2 fingers pushing a hole in, and a lot what I like to do is curve my fingers just like that. And what I've found is it encourages our spider to make a burrow a little bit quicker, encourages them to go into that pre-made hole and go, yeah, this is where I want to spend some time. Now the top of the soil is all over the place height wise. I don't like to make it perfectly flat, because that's not what it's like in the wild. In the wild it's all bumps and humps. So with this being an Asian fossorial, we're going in with the moss to keep that humidity up again. And again, you know, moss in an enclosure, especially for myself, I absolutely love it. I like to say I'm addicted to spiders, but I think I'm addicted to moss just as much as. This is sphagnum moss, collected with permission from a local woodland. Again, I know I've said it before and I will keep saying it, but if you are collecting moss, make sure that you get the permission off the landowner, because if you just take it, they can actually have you done for theft. Also, don't take it all from one spot, because if you damage one spot, we could damage it enough so it won't grow back. Try taking it from different areas and we're all good to go. That piece of cork, the piece of bark, I do apologise, I've just pushed that in, angled it over, so if she wants a hide, she's got one just there. What I'm also going to do is I've made a little bit of a burrow underneath there, and what that's for is just, again, gives her options, so she can burrow down in that corner, or she can go underneath the hide and make a burrow down there. Water dish going in, again, essential with the Asian fossorials. Even if you never ever see them drinking from it, sooner or later they will actually come up and take some of that water, but no doubt she'll web it over and cover it in soil just like they all do. Now here is our female again. I'm just taking this catch cup off, trying to be ever so careful here, because being old world, you know, that venom is not going to be very pleasant if she gets me. But she's been absolutely perfect this evening. She really has been an absolute gem. I don't even have to get the paintbrush out here to get her to go into this enclosure. Definitely not like the boehemi. She seems to want to go straight in. And boom, literally just jumped in. And there she is. Absolutely stunningly beautiful. Those big back strong legs that she's got are going to be perfect for burrowing down nice and deep. Just a big bulky spider, absolutely beautiful. There's that moss again, and coming up to a nice shot of our female. Again, I am looking for a subadult male or large juvenile male for her, and that's where she goes. So she actually did go underneath that hide, and she's actually starting to burrow down now. Boom! So that was the species s.sabah, the Selacoposmia, as well as our boehemi, both rehoused, both upgraded. Hopefully they'll both settle in really, really well. Fingers crossed that female species s.sabah, I am looking for a large juvenile subadult male for her. So if you know of one going, please drop me a message across any of the social media. This Sunday coming is the Bristol Invert Show, and I cannot wait. It's going to be an absolutely epic day. I am actually working the Bugnook stand. They have just spent a lot of money on getting a lot of inverts, so expect to see a full range of inverts on their stand. There's going to be 6 tables absolutely packed, so if you want to come and say hello, that's where I'll be for most of the day. Spa Spiders is also going to be there, so remember to go see Luke. He always has some extra special things on his table ready for this show. Portsmouth Tarantulas will also be there. Danielle supports a lot of the lives, as you guys know. They were going to also be there. E&L Binding Crafts, Natalie's, so that's Time Voyager Taxidermy, is also going to be there as well. Incredible Inverts is going to have a stand there. Just so many different people, and I know I've missed several friends off, so I do apologise. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching, and if you're not subscribed, hit that subscription button, because come 9,000 subscribers, we're going to be doing another absolutely epic giveaway. But unlike last Tuesday's live, we did start this one off with the microphone turned on. If you missed that, make sure you catch this Tuesday's one. It's going to be another absolutely epic one. And I can't believe I started a live and I was talking away and the microphone was actually switched off. But anyway, thank you so much for watching. I do really appreciate your time. Remember, channel members get 15% discount over at Spa Spiders, and then you also get to support the Mighty Bitch channel, which is Scott's Inverts. Thank you so much for watching, and as always, guys, we shall see you again on the next one.